What's up, YouTube? Ryan Alex back again. Talk about the next playoff series preview here. Rangers and Penguins. Metropolitan Division rivals here. Second and third in their division. Fairly close season. I think they were only separated by about 7 points or so. Both of them kind of had a weird end to their year. They didn't have very hot starts or finishes, sorry, but we'll talk about their games, all of which happened after February 26th. I did not know that before. They didn't play their first game against each other until February, which is kind of insane. And Pittsburgh won the first one 1-0, low-scoring affair. Rangers came back 5-1 in March. A few days later, 3-2 again. And then April 7th, 3-0. So Rangers taking 3 out of 4 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't know who might have played in each of those games. I don't have the game reports in front of me, but Rangers with the edge on the season series, and a lot of people are curious what the Rangers are going to do. This is the first time they've been in the playoffs since their rebuild was quote unquote finished. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I can never count out the Pittsburgh Penguins and Sidney Crosby, but this series looks like it could go the Rangers' way, the younger team's way, just based on paper and on the numbers side of things. What do you think? What's happening here?
Yeah, on paper, I like New York's odds. They have won the season series. They seem to kind of get a little bit better in the series as it had gone along throughout the throughout the season. But like you said, Sidney Crosby can just turn it on. He
Yeah.
can steal a series by himself. He can just decide to do that because he is that good. Pittsburgh's done it before with him. He's just been like, "Oh, do we need a rest of a team? No, everybody's injured. I'll just win the cup."
Yeah.
So it's very possible. And if you count out the Pittsburgh Penguins, you're gonna lose. Like you have to take them, equally seriously. And the Rangers don't have an easy task ahead of them, even if statistically they are the supposed favorite here.
Yeah, and we talked about Crosby, and you didn't once say Malkin either. He's still on this team.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't start the season, but in 41 games had 42 points. So Malkin's still going, and Chris Letang had a career year this year. The big question mark, or the big not question mark, before we talk about the Rangers forwards, the goaltending duel between Igor Shesterkin and most likely to start the series, Casey DeSmith, because Tristan Jarry is injured. I believe he has a broken foot or something. Something wrong with his leg. Nothing's ever confirmed this late in the year. I think it's a broken foot. But he will not be playing in the series, most likely. And if he does, it'll be late. And at that point, he might as well ride DeSmith. And something I can't remember where I heard this stat. I'm trying to remember where I heard it so I don't just steal the Thunder or whoever. But it might have been the hockey guy. I can't remember. Casey DeSmith, since the trade deadline, has a better save percentage than Igor Shesterkin.
Oh,
Casey DeSmith has played very, very well in Jarry's absence, and I think a closer goaltending matchup than people give Casey DeSmith credit for. He's still a very good goalie. Obviously, Igor Shesterkin is having a legendary historical season with a 935 save percentage. My biggest issue with the Rangers, Alex, and wonder if you agree, is depth.
I kind of have a problem with like I have that same problem with the Pittsburgh Penguins in that kind of after Malkin and Crosby, Gensel, like that that top they have after that it kind of falls off for me a little bit too. I really like Jeff Carter, but he isn't the goal scorer that he used to be. On the other side for the New York Rangers, I think that somebody like Bokako, who has a lot of hidden skill, can kind of turn it on and maybe, have a point per game playoffs. So coming next season, it'll be his breakout one. And it kind of clicked in the playoffs here. I feel like he's the guy. Frank Vetrano, even. Did he get traded too, right?
Yeah, he got traded
He's
there.
in.
Andrew
Yeah,
Copp.
like that's, yeah, right? That was, I think he's a piece that can also light it up here. In that I do think that while they don't have depth. I don't think that Pittsburgh has as much depth either. And I
Fair.
think that either way, on either team, you have people who could light it up. So it's a big question mark for me, but it's the same question mark I have for Pittsburgh.
That's fair. I think I'd take the bottom lines on Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
Guys like Teddy Bluger, underrated. Kasperi Kapanen having a kind of a down year, but is known to be a little bit of a prick in the playoffs. Danton Heinen, Ivan Rodriguez had a great start to his season and cooled off.
Jason Zucker.
Jason Zucker is a big question mark. They say Ricard Raquel, with their one trade deadline acquisition. I think I'd take those guys over Dryden Hunt, Philip Hedl, Alexis Lafreniere. Who else is here? Capo, like you said. Andrew Kopp's had a great time with them. Frank Petrano had 8 goals in 22 games. Ryan Reeves. Like, they have guys down there. I just think I'd take Pittsburgh's depth over the Rangers. I don't know. We'll see. I think the top guys are going to match each other in this series, and it's going to come down to the bottom 6 on each team to score those extra couple goals to bang pucks in past 2 very solid goaltenders and decent defense groups. This series is going to, I think, my opinion, go the distance. This is going to be a really long, a really drawn out series. I think going to go back and forth. I think people are writing off the Penguins because of Tristan Jarry, and I don't think they should. We saw today the Carolina Hurricanes without Frederik Andersen. Antti Raanta's still good, and they just beat the Boston Bruins 5-1 this afternoon or this evening. So just because your number one quote is not in doesn't mean your decent backup can't win a game. This is the playoffs.
What the backups are for, right? When they come in an emergency and they kind of steal the show. That's what makes a really good backup. Might not be a starter. You can't rely on them for 60 games, but you can let them be the starter when your actual starter's out. And Casey DeSmith has really stood up, and we'll see if he can kind of keep that streak going.
Yeah, and stop me if you've heard Pittsburgh's backup goalie outshines the starter and ends up taking the series before. So, that's happened a few times, okay? So, Casey DeSmith, I think, could do it 100%. And it's going to come down to the big guys matching each other, and then, the Jeff Carters versus Andrew Kopps of the world. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. What is your prediction for this series? I'm kind of giving mine away, but...
I feel like it's going to be a really, really, really good one. We're going to have some crazy games either way, but I think I'm going to give it to the Rangers in 6. I like the way that they're coached this year. I think that they have like a kind of a hidden potential to reach, and that I've seen everything I can from the Penguins roster and their bottom, their depth, and that I know that they can achieve more, but they already have, and it's kind of past their time when I'm ready to see the Rangers step up into that kind of role and become a playoff team, and this is their chance to do it. So I want to give it to them. I'm going to predict them to really take the reins and for the next 5 to 10 years be a competitive playoff team. And I think this is where they kind of set their mark with this playoff series win here.
Yeah. I'm going to take the opposite approach. I think they're going to have a similar kind of vibe to the LA Kings. Their time is coming, like you said. I think they're going to be good for the next half decade to a decade. Their time's coming. It's not yet. This series is going to go the full 7 games, and Pittsburgh is going to take it. The veteran, some of these guys have won 3 cups together, and they know that they're coming to the end of their line, I think, a little bit. Both individually and together. Letang's a UFA at the end of the season, so is Malkin. So I think they're going to try to go full bore on one last run and try to win themselves, some of them, a 4th Stanley Cup. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I take Pittsburgh in 7. Let us know what you think. If you watched all the way through this video, let us know in the comment section down below what you think about this video. Who's going to be the better goalie? Who's going to lead this? Who's going to be the unsung hero on both teams? We all know Crosby and Panarin are both going to show up, but who's going to be the guy that, that third liner that bangs in 3 or 4 goals over a series? Let us know. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to see more from us. We got lots of playoff stuff coming your way, draft stuff. We can check out all the other previews on the channel at this point. And that's it for us for now. Peace.